Hey everybody, it's Josh Alexander, and this is your Orange County housing market update for the month of July, so let's get into it. Okay, so we're in the middle of July now, and unfortunately, COVID-19 is still impacting our daily lives in Orange County. So right now, businesses are starting to shut back down again. The cases are going up. Everything seems to be heading in the wrong direction. But how is this impacting the housing market? Well, in general, it's basically the same thing I've been saying over the last 2-3 months almost now, is that three things. Demand is extremely high, supply is extremely low, and interest rates are now at all-time lows again. So where does this put us? It puts us in an extremely hot seller's market, the hottest market that we've seen in over 8 years at this point. So let's look at some of the numbers to kind of see what the breakdown is and where we stand in Orange County in the middle of July. So let's start with supply. So supply over the last 2 weeks in Orange County has actually dropped by 1%. So that's extremely abnormal for this time of year, where usually you see supply increases of anywhere from about 7 to 8% in the middle of July because kids are off school. We're in the middle of the summer months now. People are trying to sell their homes. So to see a drop in supply, which was already at historic lows, is not a great sign for the overall market because the inventory is just so low. It's so low, in fact, that we're now at over a 15-year low for the month of July. So it hasn't been this low since 2014 when we look at the month of July. And just comparing it to last year, we're actually at 63% less homes on the market today than we were last year at this time. So you can see that supply is extremely low right now. So anybody looking to sell their home is going to have a lot of interest because there's just not a lot of homes on the market right now for buyers to choose from. Okay, so let's look at the other side, and that's demand. So demand is already sky high in Orange County right now, but over the last 2 weeks, it went up again by about 3% this time. So I've been saying this pretty much every week since about 2 weeks after the initial lockdown, but demand has been going up every single week, week after week after week, all the way through to where we are now. Well, supply has remained low. It went up a little bit, but over the last couple weeks, it's starting to fall again. So when you look at the demand right now, we're at the highest demand that we've had in July since 2012. And when you combine that with the lowest supply that we've had since 2004, you can see why we're in such a hot seller's market now, and a hot seller's market we haven't seen this hot in a long time. Now, the one thing I do want to note about demand is it looks like we're at the peak or about to peak. So demand really can't go much higher than it is right now. So I expect over the next week or two, we're going to hit that peak and maybe stay flat for a week or two and then start dropping. But by mid-August, end of August, you're going to start seeing that demand drop because kids are going to start going back to school. Families are going to stop looking for homes because whether it's virtual or in person or a combination of both, a lot of families aren't going to want to move when they're starting the school year again. So you are going to see demand start to decline. So if you're a seller right now, you really only have about 2-3 weeks left before you start seeing that demand go down. Now, that's not to say we're going to be in a buyer's market 2 months from now. I really think that we're going to be in a seller's market at least till the end of the year because there's just not enough supply and demand is too high to have that big of a switch that quickly. It just means that we're not going to be in a historically high seller's market, but we're still going to be in a very, very hot seller's market really all the way through the holiday season this year. So now that we've gone over the data, what does this actually mean for sellers and what does it mean for buyers? So let's start with sellers first. So like I just said, right now is the best time of this year to put your house on the market. Demand is likely peaked, and in the next couple weeks, you're going to start seeing it go down again. So if you can get your house on the market sooner rather than later, you'll have a better shot of getting a high price as well as selling it quicker. Now, again, this doesn't mean a few months from now you're not going to be able to sell your home. It just means that maybe instead of getting 5 offers the first weekend, you might take a couple weeks and only have 1 or 2 offers. You'll still sell your home, you'll still get a good price for it, but it might just take a little bit longer, and you might not have as many offers to be able to go back and counteroffer and try to drive that price back up for you. Now, there's 2 things as a seller you really need to know in this market right now in terms of getting the best price and sold the quickest. So one, you need to make sure you're working with an agent that's extremely familiar with digital marketing because right now they're still not allowing open houses. So most buyers are seeing your home for the first time online. So if the agent isn't taking great quality pictures, doing virtual open houses, 3D walkthroughs, virtual walkthroughs, all that type of thing, you're really going to be putting yourself at a disadvantage compared to the agents that are. So you want to make sure when you're interviewing agents that they're familiar with that and that they're also familiar with advertising online. So they know what they're doing with Facebook ads, Google ads, Instagram ads, that type of thing, to get as many eyeballs on your property as possible to give you the best shot of selling it quickly and at the highest price. Now, the second thing you need to remember as a seller right now is you can't just throw out a number and hope it sells for that price. So a lot of sellers are saying, hey, it's such a hot market, I'll just put a number on it and it will sell. That's really not the case. And in general, in Orange County right now, there's an average of about 36% of homes that have been sitting on the market for more than 2 months. And even if you take out the homes on the higher end side, which usually take longer to sell anyway, and look at the homes that are under $1.2 million, you're still looking at over a quarter homes sitting on the market right now have been on the market for more than 60 days. So in this type of market, why is that? There's really the two reasons. One, the agent could be not marketing correctly, but two is the price. If you don't price your home correctly, buyers are not just going to purchase it because they want a house. Buyers are still making sure they purchase homes that are close to market value. So pricing your home correctly is still extremely important in this time right now, because if you don't, your home is going to be sitting on the market. And like I said before, the longer you wait, the farther demand is going to go down. And when you do take that price reduction, let's say a month or two from now, you're going to have less people looking at your home. And when you do price reductions, you have those opportunistic buyers that come in thinking that you need to sell your home right away, and you start getting lower and lower offers. So if you don't price it correctly initially, that's really going to put you at a big disadvantage to be able to get the highest price you can, as well as sell it quickly. So those are the two things you really need to remember as a seller. Okay, so buyers, what does this mean for you? So I know it's extremely disappointing and discouraging to hear over and over again how hot of a seller's market it is right now. But you do have to remember, one of the main reasons it's such a hot seller's market is because interest rates have never been this low before. So if you're able to have that patience and persevere to find the property, even if you have to place offer after offer after offer until you eventually get one and close escrow, you're going to be able to lock in the lowest interest rates we've ever seen, which means your monthly payment will be extremely low, especially compared to even just 6 months to a year ago. And over the life of that loan, you're going to be saving thousands and thousands of dollars. So I hope that's enough information to be able to give you hope, and so you can continue going out there and placing offers until you find the perfect property and you close escrow, because you're going to, over the next 30 years, you're going to be saving a lot of money if you're able to lock in that low interest rate. So another thing for buyers, and that's something that I'm hearing, is, well, we're in the middle of a recession. When are the home prices going to drop? It hasn't happened yet, but it is going to happen soon, right? Well, like I just said before, you're not going to see anything happen this year. Next year, let's say that home prices do start dropping. Well, in recessions in general, home prices actually stay the same or usually go up. So if you look at the recessions that we've had over the last 5 recessions, the only time home prices actually dropped dramatically was when we had a recession that was actually caused by the housing market. If you look back previous to that, during the other 4 recessions, the lowest or the most that home prices have dropped were about 1.6%. So let's say that we go above that and say next year we're going to say that home prices drop 5%. The other thing that I want you to pay attention to is interest rates, because that really has the biggest impact on your monthly payment, and it really makes homes affordable versus non-affordable. So I'm going to pull up this little slide right here. If you're listening to this through podcast, I'll kind of walk you through it. But basically, let's say you purchase a home today. So you purchase a home for $650,000 at the current average interest rate, which is right around 3%. So your monthly payment would be $2,740. Now, let's say you wait till next year and home prices do drop, but let's say interest rates go up by only 0.5%. So what does that do to your payment? So if you look at the price, 5% of $650,000 is $617,500 at a 3.5% interest rate. Your payment's actually going to be higher at $2,773. So you can see there is a cost of waiting if interest rates start going up. And that's the only disadvantage you really have to look at and weigh and factor into your consideration on when to purchase a home. Because if interest rates start rising, you're really going to start pricing yourself out of these homes that currently you can afford, but you might not be able to afford if they start going up even by 1/4 or 0.5% once we get into next year. So it is something you want to consider. Like I said, it's not a guarantee interest rates are going to go up, but when we have the lowest interest rates ever, I mean, yes, they can go down a little bit more, but the probability is that at some point they're going to start going up. When is that going to happen? It's very hard to say. But when a vaccine is developed and we start pulling out of this pandemic, you're most likely going to start seeing interest rates go up then. So even if, again, home prices drop next year, but let's say we have a vaccine by the beginning of next year, you might start seeing those interest rates go up even if home prices go down a little bit. So it's something, again, you want to consider because there could be a cost of waiting longer. Okay, so that's really all the information I have for you today. So I'll come back in another 4 weeks to give you a market update. Until then, I will be dropping videos that have to do with home buying and home selling to make sure you're more informed if you are going through the process, so look out for those. And then one other thing I did want to note, if you are a home buyer right now, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, I will be having a first-time home buyer webinar next Wednesday. I'll drop the link in the show notes. If you want to sign up for it, it's free, but I'm basically going to walk you through from the very beginning, budgeting for a home, all the way through placing offers, getting into escrow, going through contingencies, and closing escrow and getting the keys handed to you to your new property, and walk you through step by step exactly what to expect every step of the way. So that way, when you are ready to purchase a home, you can hit the ground running and you'll be one step ahead of everybody else. So look at that link down below if you are interested. Again, it's free. It'll take about an hour of your time. It'll be 1 o'clock next Wednesday. So I hope you're all staying healthy and happy, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye. If you found this podcast useful, please hit subscribe and leave a review below. I'd really appreciate it. And if you have any family or friends that want some more information about buying or selling a home, or just want to stay updated on the Orange County housing market, please share it with them. It'd mean the world to me. Thanks.